podcast host. I am not a podcaster. I am a human being. I am a man. Is that offensive?
Everything coming from you is offensive somehow.
Sometimes I say things and I go, should I say these things? Hi, welcome to Bomb Squad Matinee. I'm your host and master of ceremony, Tanner Richard Kraft, and with me I have...
I'm Tim Sullivan.
That's right, and today, if you can't tell by the reference at the beginning, we are talking about my favorite David Lynch movie, The Elephant Man. A movie that you can't stream, not available to rent digitally. Redbox isn't a thing anymore, and I doubt it being Redbox in the first place. Maybe go down to the Blockbuster Video in Bend, Oregon.
I did find that it is apparently on Tubi, but that's just not the way to watch
What?
this
Really?
movie.
It could be a weird copy. Sometimes Tubi has like the most weird copies of things.
Yeah, just has.
I saw one time an English movie on Tubi with Spanish subtitles baked in.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it has like Finnish subtitles or something.
That happens sometimes, but you know what?
We have
Tubi's
the majestic
free.
moose.
Tubi's free, and personally, I find that the ads aren't usually that bad.
Usually, yeah. Speaking as somebody who
At the
has
very
something
least-
on Tubi, the ads are timed pretty well on the thing I have on Tubi.
That's what I find. Either they have a person that manually does it, or whatever algorithm they've produced is very good, because I find it's not ever in the middle of a scene, which is really annoying. It is always when a scene ends.
We're talking about The Elephant Man.
That's right. We're talking about The Elephant Man, the newest Leonardo DiCaprio movie directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, The Elephant Man.
Correct.
No, that's next week. We're talking about The Elephant Man, but before we get into The Elephant Man, our warm-up question today is, Tim, what's your favorite movie about an outcast from society? What's your favorite movie about an outcast from society?
So my favorite movie about outcasts from society has got to be South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, because Terrence and Phillip are clearly the protagonists of this film. This is definitely what that movie is about. But I'm not going to talk about that one today. I'm going to talk about the Brian De Palma classic, Carrie. Carrie is a great movie about a girl who has an abusive mother who keeps her sheltered and doesn't really allow her to grow as a human. And so everyone around her thinks she's weird, and she just experiences all this horrible bullying. And yeah, excellent movie about a person who is being outcast, but has a person who, sees the human in them and cares about them, much like the film we're talking about today. I have Carrie on the schedule for next year, so I'm going to talk about it more when we get to that episode, but rest assured, Carrie, good picture. Back to you, Tanner.
Great answer. I actually have my answer for this locked and loaded. But as per tradition, I've pulled up the IMDb list of movies that feature the keyword social outcasts.
All right, let's hear 10 minutes of things that have nothing to do with the topic.
It's always so funny to me. For example, this one actually kind of fits, but it still feels like a stretch. Spider-Man.
Yeah, I kept looking at movies I've seen and thinking of some superhero characters. I think the X-Men you could make an argument for sure.
That is also on here.
But it's Spider-Man, yeah, kind of. But Batman though, no.
Joker.
Yeah, I saw that one coming up on some lists. Kinda, I guess.
Mean Girls.
Yeah. Kinda.
The Banshees of Inisherin. I'm going to say it right now. No, that is not what that movie's about. That's one guy deciding he doesn't want to be another guy's friend anymore. Neither of them are being ostracized for it.
outcast from society.
Jojo Rabbit. That doesn't feel correct. That feels offensive, actually, that Jojo Rabbit's on there. Sure, I guess the Jews were outcasts in Nazi Germany.
Yeah,
I suppose. The Greatest Showman.
I
guess the Freaks in the Circus. The real life P.T. Barnum absolutely would be the guy at the beginning of this movie that's just treating the Elephant Man like absolute shit.
Yeah.
It.
Kinda.
The Babadook. Tim's favorite movie, The Waterboy.
Yes, everybody who knows me knows that I stan The Waterboy, and I love that famous line, "I am the Waterboy."
That's true. Here's a real answer, Lisa Frankenstein. I'll accept that one.
Yeah.
I haven't seen this movie, but its presence here and not its original feels a little weird. Neighbors 2, Sorority Rising.
Sure.
Have you seen that movie? That feels like a movie you would have seen.
No.
All right. The Adventures of Shark Boy and Lava Girl, 3D.
I haven't seen it.
Fritz the Cat.
No.
The Slumber Party Massacre. Sure, I guess the serial killer is an outcast, kind of.
I guess.
That's like saying Halloween. Here's a fun one. Carrie, specifically the 2002 version. The original does not appear to be on here.
Sure.
Martin. As in the Martin Lawrence sitcom.
I figured you were talking about the George Romero movie, which I still haven't seen.
You would think that would make sense, but also the George A. Romero movie's on here too. I think someone confused the sitcom for the movie.
Many such cases.
The unfortunate thing with the Outcast tag is that most of the movies on here nobody cares about. Casper 2 or the Casper prequel, whatever A Spirited Beginning's about. Not the point. Oh, and finally, we need to talk about Kevin. Sure, I guess. That, I guess, sort of fits. But you want to know what my actual answer to my favorite movie about an outcast from society?
Let's hear it.
The Elephant Man.
Correct.
I'm just cheating here. The Elephant Man. That's my answer. No, I guess if I can't say The Elephant Man, which is the only correct answer, mind you, I really like Edward Scissorhands. Does that count?
Yeah, I thought about that as an answer. I also thought about Tar because I thought that would be a funny answer.
That's about becoming an outcast. That would be a pretty funny answer.
It's about becoming an outcast because you've done wrong.
It's the only movie about being canceled that, like, works.
Yeah.
But really, my favorite movie about a societal outcast is The Elephant Man. It's my favorite David Lynch movie, which I know is funny because I feel like that's the most accessible David Lynch movie. So fucking, of course, that'd be my favorite, I guess. I don't know. I love other David Lynch movies, mind you. I love Mulholland Drive. I love Blue Velvet. I love...
Tanner's a big fan of Dune.
My brain's... I do actually like his Dune movie pretty much. I do like that Dune movie, sir. But no, my four favorite David Lynch movies are, in order, number 1, The Elephant Man, number 2, Mulholland Drive, number 3, The Straight Story, number 4, Blue Velvet.
Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for thou art with me. I run and I stop.
Mr. Cargon?
Yes,
what is it? Who's there?
I didn't teach him that part.
Why do I love The Elephant Man so much? We'll get into that in a little bit, but first, Tim, you better like this movie. What do you think of The Elephant Man?
So, interestingly enough, before this year, this was the only Lynch feature I hadn't seen. It'd been a movie I'd been meaning to watch for the longest fucking time, but just hadn't gotten around to it. And I guess going off of your top 4 Lynch movies, I would say my favorite is Eraserhead. Second favorite, probably Fire Walk with Me. Then Blue Velvet, and honestly Eraserhead, or honestly Elephant Man.
Eraserhead again!
Eraserhead again is number 4. No, but Elephant Man probably number 4 for me. Either that.
Not a big Mulholland Drive guy, huh?
I have weird hot takes about Mulholland Drive, but we'll save that for another show.
For the Mulholland Drive episode that we will do someday. So help me God.
Yeah, I do. Again, I pretty much like all of his movies too. Even his Dune movie, I think, is okay. But yeah, this movie is fantastic. My first time getting to see this movie was on the big screen, because as you probably know if you're watching this, David Lynch unfortunately passed away earlier this year. So a bunch of theaters were playing David Lynch movies in theaters, and I tried to go to as many of them as I could. I unfortunately had to miss Eraserhead and Inland Empire, but I had seen both of those in other
Inland
theaters.
Empire was like the one they played the least.
Yeah, which is fair because it's a 3-hour movie shot on a shitty camcorder. I get it. If that's the one you're gonna skip.
Tim and I both managed to see the one showing of The Straight Story, though.
Yeah.
On a film print. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was good, and that was very much a go now because you're not going to get another opportunity probably ever.
Disney, I imagine David Lynch's death had some influence on Disney letting that print go out.
Yeah. Yeah, I had seen Eraserhead and Inland Empire on big screens before, so I was okay with missing those. I have seen every David Lynch movie on a big screen now, so that's kind of cool. But this movie, I did not really have I didn't really have an opportunity to rewatch for this episode, but I remember it pretty freshly from my screening. It's very powerful, very emotional. You were saying that it's probably his most accessible movie. I don't know how much I agree with that. I think it's a good point. I don't know. His Dune movie is fairly accessible, I think.
I think Dune is inherently, as a concept, not that accessible, which is weird considering like all of our modern sci-fi is built upon it. Yeah. But I don't know. It's basically a movie about a white boy going Islam.
Correct. But it is a very, straightforward narrative and pretty easy to latch onto the characters. Excellent performances, namely from Anthony Hopkins and John Hurt. Anthony Hopkins is just a really great sort of almost surrogate kind of character where you really feel like you're stepping into his shoes, and you want to see this poor disfigured man get the help he needs to like live a better life. And John Hurt just absolutely nails the performance to make you really feel for this character. And you kind of gradually see him come into himself more and more. Like at the very beginning, when you first see him, he can barely form words, and then you start to see him like reciting Bible verses and speaking in full coherent sentences because he just needed people to warm up to him. It's really emotionally impactful. Again, performances all across the board are really good. Like whenever I was at the Alamo when they were playing the David Lynch movies, they would always open with that like David Lynch month trailer thing, and it would always open with that bit of the circus guy going, "Life is full of surprises," and that just is burned into my brain now, that quote, as is the famous "I am not an animal, I am a human being," which a very, very powerful line for the character to go out on. And I guess I'll end by saying that, like, the end of this movie, watching on a big screen right after Lynch's passing, I think was especially powerful, because you see John Merrick going into his bed and just finally accepting his own death, and just kind of being welcomed into the next world by his deceased mother. And it's very powerful, very ethereal, in a way that just feels so right for Lynch, even though this is a lot less surreal than a lot of Lynch's other stuff. But like the beginning and ending both feel very Lynchian, and yeah. Again, seeing this right after Lynch's passing, I think made it just extra powerful, even though I imagine if I'd seen it before his passing, it would still be very powerful. Just all around good picture. And I don't know if I would recommend watching it on Tubi, but if you can find a DVD of it, check it out that way. Or I don't know if this is one of the ones that's on Criterion. I'm sure there's a Blu-ray somewhere. Just go pick it up. Back to you, Tanner.
Or let's look up Elephant Man Blu-ray just for you, buddy.
Yeah, let's go.
They released a 4K this year.
Excellent.
The Elephant Man is on Criterion, but that is out of print right now.
Ah, dang.
They only because like usually they have a lot of stock on hand.
Yeah.
But when David Lynch died, it kind of flew off the shelf. They are apparently working on getting another run. I don't know. The Elephant Man. I agree with everything Tim says. Obviously, I think this is my favorite David Lynch movie for a reason. And I love a lot of David Lynch movies. I think David Lynch was a truly special artist and filmmaker. We probably talked about him a lot more in depth in our
Wild at Heart.
Thank you, Wild at Heart episode earlier this year that we put on the schedule pretty quickly after his passing. Because at the time I thought it was the only David Lynch movie that had an anniversary. Turns out this one was turning 40 this year, or 45 this year. Yeah, so I just had completely missed that.
Speaking of the Wild at Heart thing, like, it's crazy that both times it's just like, all right, time to watch the David Lynch movie. Ah, fuck.
You'd think such a accomplished director, I know his movies are weird, but you think they'd be a bit more like literally accessible.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, he was so respected in the industry. You'd think.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about a guy that was nominated for Best Director for movies that weren't nominated for Best Picture twice. That is not a very common occurrence.
Yeah.
The directors love this guy. For good reasons. He's a gifted filmmaker. Or was. Where to begin? I really think the performance John Hurt gives in this movie is one of the greatest performances of all time. I think it is a very warm, gentle performance. I think it is a very respectful performance. I think John Hurt was truly respectful of people that do live with disabilities in how he performed this character. I think this is a gorgeous movie to look at. It's crazy to think a movie primarily in black and white, entirely in black and white, as recently as 1980 was being nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars. Before that became old enough to become a gimmick, You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Elephant Man was not shot in black and white for, I do not think it was for artistic reasons. I think it was for production cost reasons.
Probably.
Which is crazy because this is a David Lynch studio movie. It's not often he works with studios. Well, I guess he mostly worked with studios. I don't know.
I was glancing at some research stuff earlier, and it's crazy that this movie was only $5 million. Like, I know that was a lot more in 1980, but that just seems like baby budget now.
Let's go to our favorite website, Tim. Say it with me. The inflation calc. That's correct. 5,000, 50,000. Okay. That's 500. That's 5,000. That's 50,000. That's 500,000. That's 5 million in, let's say, January in 1980. Hop that into now. That's the same as $20 million now, which is still a smaller budget, but I feel like a lot of Oscar stuff is being made for that price point right now.
Yeah, that's a standard A24 budget, I guess.
Yeah. Anthony Hopkins, I also think is a great as a straight man, but I also think his performance as John Hurt was the guy that was nominated for an Oscar for his performance for Best Actor in a Leading Role. I honestly find Hurt and Hopkins to be co-leads in this movie. Hurt is obviously the main attraction, but I find that the script is often more driven by the decisions Hopkins' characters makes as opposed to the decisions that John Merrick makes, you know?
Yeah.
That's not to say that you know, John Merrick is not an important part of the movie. He's a deeply important part of the movie. But there are just as many scenes that is only John Merrick as there is scenes that is only Frederick Trevez. Yeah, I think there's just a lot of great stuff in this movie. I think some of the scenes that make me cry, obviously the whole, you know, I'm not an elephant, I'm not a monster, I'm a human being scene makes me cry. You know what else makes me cry? When all the freaks band together and say, we're going to get you out of here, man. And obviously they also all run off. They also all fuck off together. Yeah. But like the sort of camaraderie there, I find really moving and powerful. I wish I could talk about this movie more in depth. Tim and I both saw this 6 months ago in a movie theater and weren't able to rewatch it in time for this podcast. Oops, I'm moving. You can see all this shit that's been taken down off my wall. And Tim's getting married in 2 days. This is true.
Correct. Peace, bitches.
He leaves the call right now. Sorry. I'm busy. He's busy, so we didn't have time to watch it. But I still remember the movie very well. What I really remember, though, is just how it makes me feel. Lynch mostly holds back in his surrealism here, except for the beginning and the end, like you said. I think those movies bookend the movie wonderfully and what helps push it to another level, obviously. But the reason I call it the most accessible is that if you remove those two scenes, this is mostly just a straightforward picture. While, you know, his other movies like Blue Velvet, Mulholland Drive play with like reality a lot more.
Yeah.
And even Dune plays with reality a little bit. I'd say his three most accessible movies are this, Dune, and The Straight Story.
Yeah.
But I don't know, watching The Straight Story earlier this year, there were a couple scenes in that made me go, this is fucking weird.
Straight Story is weird in more of a structural way than like a story way.
Yeah. I'd agree with that. Well, again, this is mostly just a straightforward picture aside from the beginning and the end. Which shows that even though I've heard some people say Lynch kind of used his surrealism as a crutch, this movie shows that he was a beautifully wonderful filmmaker regardless.
Yeah.
These are great traditional performances, but still fantastic. There's a lot of heart. There's a lot of emotion. The thing I've always thought about Lynch movies is that his movies are made with so much love in them. And I think this is just a wonderful example of that, is that, you know, at the end of the day, I think it's not just that the Elephant Man chooses to pass away in his sleep because he's like content with the idea of death. I also think it's because for the first time he's content with his life. It's very and he wants to experience one normal thing before he goes, which is sleeping laying down.
Yeah.
I think that's beautiful. I think that's really moving and emotional. I know that it can be easy to make fun of a movie that at the end of the day is just kind of honestly, see that fucking freak show? He has feelings. That can be kind of shallow nowadays, but I think the way Lynch approaches it, there's a lot more nuance there that it really works. I'm kind of running out of steam because, again, I haven't seen the movie in a while. So we're going to say a lot more about this movie after a brief commercial break. We'll see you in a minute. Welcome back from that commercial break for another commercial. You see that colorful thing behind me? That's a movie palette. The one behind me is for the movie Punch Drunk Love. The one Tim is pointing to is the one for the movie Mandy. Basically what it does is it takes the primary color of every frame, chops up these little bits, put them on a palette for you to enjoy at home. You can get one for the Elephant Man that would largely be black and white lines all in a row. I don't know how interesting that is to look at, but you can do it. You can get one for your favorite movie, and they don't already have it on the website. For a little extra money, you can get it created custom. So go ahead, add your movie palette of choice to your cart, but before you check out and make that order, enter the code SQUAD15 to save 15% on it. Thank you so much. Now back to the show. So Tim, I was talking about how this is a studio movie. There was actually one specific producer who often worked in the studio system responsible for hiring David Lynch as the writer and director. Do you know who that was?
Was it Mel Brooks?
It was Mel fucking Brooks, who he took his name off the movie intentionally because he didn't want people to think it was a joke.
Yeah. I just read about that earlier, and like I had no idea that Mel Brooks touched this movie. But that totally makes sense that he would just like take
let alone the reason
of
David Lynch was on it.
Yeah. But I mean, he was a very accomplished, I mean, he's still alive, still kicking, still, I guess, attached to that Spaceball sequel. God. But I mean, he's a very
Did you see that
person.
when they announced the cast for the Spaceballs sequel, they parodied the 2015 Force Awakens cast announcement photo?
Yep.
Sorry, that was really funny.
It's good stuff. I feel so bad for poor Rick Moranis. He looks miserable in that suit.
Yeah.
Eraserhead. No, not Eraserhead. Elephant Man. The other one with an E.
I mean, we can start talking about Eraserhead if you want. I don't know if that's really what the people want.
It's been even longer since I've seen Eraserhead.
Yeah, I at least saw that in theaters this year. Though I have to make a confession, I definitely fell asleep for a portion in the middle of it. So, which honestly, I don't know what this says about Eraserhead, that I wasn't any less confused having missed those 15, 20 minutes.
It's surrealism.
It works, you know. Yeah. No, Mel Brooks was like also a fighter for the movie. For example, when Mel Brooks screened the movie to the Paramount Pictures lot, they said, "We want the surreal shit at the start, at the end, cut." And Mel Brooks apparently said to them, "We are involved in this as business partners. We screened the movie so you know where it's at." And he said this, I quote, "Do not misconstrue this as our soliciting the input of raging primitives." David Lynch was working as a roofer when he was offered this movie. So thank you, Mel Brooks, for like giving, because truly, The Elephant Man, I think, would have stood the test of time as a cult classic. I don't think Eraserhead would have stood the test of time as a cult classic. But I don't think without The Elephant Man, is David Lynch? Like, does he have a chance to make shit like Blue Velvet or Mulholland Drive or Twin Peaks? Probably not.
Yeah, this probably did kind of launch him into the stratosphere a little bit. Like that, and then getting to do Dune right after that, I would say. Probably.
And then Dune almost blew up his career.
Yeah. But
yeah.
Arrakis.
Dude, crazy good makeup work, right?
Yeah, I was reading about that. Like, John Hurt would fucking go into the studio at 5 a.m. and then shoot his scenes from noon to 10 p.m., which is just an insane work day.
It would take them upwards of 7 to 8 hours to apply the makeup. I think nowadays with modern technologies, we can cut that time in half, if not a fourth. But, yeah.
Built different.
This movie inspired the creation. I mean, a lot of movies led up to this point, like how a lot of people say, you know, The Dark Knight is the reason the Best Picture category got expanded to 10 movies. That was a big reason why, but it was clearly not the only reason. The Elephant Man is the reason we have a Best Makeup award at the Oscars.
Yeah.
Because a bunch of people in the industry are like, what the fuck? What do you mean that this movie's not going to be honored? Because fun fact, nominated for 8 Oscars, didn't win any. Did not win a single Oscar.
Robbed.
You want to hear robbed? Let me give you the best score category. Because it was nominated for best score and original picture, right? The other nominees, outside of The Elephant Man, is a movie called Altered States, which I don't think I've watched it, but I've heard of that movie.
I've seen it. It's good. I don't think it's as good as The Elephant Man.
A movie called Tess.
Haven't seen that.
Never even heard of it before today, which is crazy because it won 3 goddamn Oscars. This is all best score. Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back.
I don't think that was nominated. I think The Empire Strikes Back was what was nominated.
I'm just looking at what the IMDb page says.
I'm giving you shit.
Anyway, the movie that won was a movie called Fame. You ever heard of it?
I think so. I might just be thinking of the song.
Haven't. It appears to be a musical of some kind. Maybe it's good. But I'm going to be honest. I can't imagine any of the movies in this category deserving best score. Okay, if I'm being completely honest, that Oscar should have gone to fucking John Williams. But if not John Williams, it should have gone to The Elephant Man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
It's a very subtle score, but it's very beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, actually, you want to hear something even more fucking insane about the Oscars that year that has nothing to do with The Elephant Man, but I just saw this and I need to share my outrage?
Let's go.
So, Best Original Song was also a category that year. The movie Fame also won for a song. It was nominated for 2 songs. The song Fame won for Fame for Best Original Song. Some other movies, there was a Willie Nelson song called, oh my God, hold on. I'm sorry. I'll go back to the Willie Nelson song in a second. The other song from Fame was Out Here on My Own. There was a song from the movie The Competition for the song People Alone. Honeysuckle Rose, Willie Nelson composed the song On the Road Again.
Oh, shit.
And that lost the Oscar to that Fame song. But that's not the crazy one, Tim. You ready for this?
What's that?
The movie 9 to 5 was nominated for Best Original Song for the song 9 to 5. How the fuck did that not win?
That's stacked competition right there.
What the fuck? 9 to 5? That's one of the best songs ever made. I just assumed my whole life that did win the Oscar for song, because how could any other song compare? Even On the Road Again, a great song from Willie Nelson. 9 to 5 is running circles around, if you ask me. Sorry, no offense. That's just where I stand.
That's fair.
I can see that you're not as passionate about this as I am.
No, never been an Oscars boy, but I'm
9 to 5.
I'm interested in these takes. 9 to 5. 9 to 5 is a very good song.
Like, it's like a perfect song. Like, come on. Best film editing. I'm just going to tell you all the Oscars The Elephant Man lost and what won instead. Some of the other nominees for best editing include The Competition, Coal Miner's Daughter, never heard of that, Fame, again, and The Elephant Man was nominated, but what won? Raging Bull.
Okay.
All right. That's fair, I guess.
Yeah.
Best Director. Some of the nominees include Ugh. That's who directed Tess.
Ugh.
Roman Polanski. Martin Scorsese for Raging Bull, nominated, didn't win. Richard Rush for The Stuntman. Never heard of that, but you know what? Awesome name to movie combo right there. Dude named Rush directs a movie called The Stuntman? Fuck yeah. David Lynch for The Elephant Man, who won that year? God rest his soul. This is actually one of the Oscar wins that night. I'm probably not that mad about. Robert Redford for Ordinary People.
Oh, fuck yeah. That one. Yeah.
I can't get too mad at that. That's fine. That's also what won Best Picture that year.
Yeah.
Best Costume Design, a movie called When Time Ran Out. Never heard of it, but it has a 4.6 on IMDb. My Brilliant Career. Never heard of it. Somewhere in Time. That's a Christopher Reeves movie where he like hypnotizes himself into going back in time because he fell in love with this woman in a photo. I know that sounds insane. It's a good movie.
It doesn't sound that insane. My only point of reference for Christopher Reeve is Superman.
He's a very charming actor. You can see how that could work. Anyway, for Best Costume Design, though, The Elephant Man was nominated, didn't win. What won was, of course, once again, that stupid fucking Roman Polanski movie, Tess.
Ugh.
Let's see what else this movie was nominated for. Best Art Direction, Set Decoration. All right. Let's see some of our nominees. Oh, fuck me. Kagemusha, The Shadow Warrior. That's a Kurosawa movie. Nominated for costume design. Coal Miner's Daughter. Again, never heard of it. This is all set decoration. Another nominee includes The Elephant Man. Again, obviously. Once again, The Empire Strikes Back. Fair. Costume design is fantastic, even if it's largely a continuation of the previous movie. Still some fantastic costume design. Anyway, the winner, once again, is that stupid Roman Polanski movie, Tess.
We have to redact
Best Actor in a Leading Role. Best Actor in a Leading Role. John Hurt was nominated for The Elephant Man. What else was nominated? Robert Duvall in The Great Satini. Jack Lemmon in Tribute. Peter O'Toole in The Stuntman. These are all great actors. Hard pressed to disagree with it. That's the unfortunate thing about this, is that all the categories that Elephant Man probably deserved to win the most, there were actually more deserving winners. Because the winner was Robert De Niro for Raging Bull.
Yeah.
Can't really get mad at that. Sorry, I can't. What else was Elephant Man nominated for? Oh yeah, the Best Picture nominees that year were The Elephant Man, Raging Bull, Tess, Coal Miner's Daughter. What the fuck is this movie? I've never heard of that before in my life.
I don't know.
And of course, the winner, Ordinary People.
Yeah.
Okay, but here we go. Actually, hold on. No, this is fine again. Adapted Screenplay. David Lynch was nominated for Adapted Screenplay, right? The other nominees include The Stuntman, Breaker Morant, never heard of that. Again, Coal Miner's Daughter, and the winner, Ordinary People. I don't know. I always kind of want to give it to, we're just talking screenplay. The Elephant Man screenplay is really fantastic. A lot of good dialogue.
Yeah.
But I also haven't seen Ordinary People in a while, so what do I know?
I love the book Ordinary People, and the movie is a pretty fucking close adaptation, so I'll give it that one.
Yeah. So it's unfortunate that The Elephant Man has that was a great year. Raging Bull and The Elephant Man and Ordinary People. What a strong top three. A Roman Polanski movie won 3 Oscars that night.
Yeah. Did Empire win anything?
It won for Best Sound.
Okay, yeah, that tracks.
And it also got an honorary Oscar for visual effects because this is before they officially gave a visual effects Oscar. So it got a special achievement award to recognize the visual effects work. I'm pretty sure this is one of the last Oscars to not have a VFX category. When did Tron come out?
Oh, off the top of my
I'm looking up effects until I... Okay, Best Visual Effects was first awarded in the next Oscars. The next Oscars would have been the first one to get visual effects. All right, here's a question that has nothing to do with The Elephant Man, but kind of a fun question. What is the first ever movie to win the Oscar for Best Visual Effects?
What year was it again? 81?
So the movie would have came out in 1981. Yeah.
Trying to think of 81 movies.
I don't know if I would have guessed this, but it's
final answer.
Could you imagine? No. Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Okay, I can see
for the
that.
ending sequence alone, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all the Elephant Man Oscar trivia. How do you feel knowing that Elephant Man lost at least one Oscar to a Roman Polanski movie? And not even like one of the good ones.
we have to redact it, Roman Polanski.
Like, listen, there are some Roman Polanski movies that are still well remembered, I guess, like fucking, people really like Rosemary's Baby. I still think Chinatown's a great movie. Some people really like The Pianist.
Good movie. I think I've only seen Chinatown and Rosemary's Baby. Yeah.
You're not in a rush to watch Tess?
Not so much. But you know what? The Elephant Man, good movie. Definitely.
Sorry,
deserved,
I just went on a.
Definitely deserved
at least
some
something.
Of those Oscars. Makeup, 100%. It deserved an award for. Score definitely deserved an award for. I was also reading how, I forget the name of the classical piece they use at the very end of the movie, but the composer said something about how he was against them using that because he was just like, people are just going to use that classical piece over and over again, and it's going to lose its impact a little bit each time. And you know what? He's right. But it works so well. It works so well in this movie. It's such a perfect, sending him off in his final moments song. Excellent music in the film. Excellent screenplay. I know there's a play version of this story because it's based.
There is. Have you seen the photo of Bradley Cooper playing him?
No. Is it just the nose from the one movie?
Okay, so before I show you this, I believe I should actually provide a crucial bit of context, which is that the Elephant Man play, traditionally when produced, they actually put the lead actor in no makeup. There is an artistic reason for this. I read it once. I can't remember, but I remember thinking it was a justifiably good reason.
I can't see it super
That's Bradley
well,
Cooper.
but yeah.
I'll just send this to you in a messenger thing so you can see this because it's he stanced up in an interesting way. I'll say.
I saw the stature. That was definitely a choice.
I guess that was just a way to try and exhibit how restrictive his movements would have been. I don't know.
Yeah, and I've never seen a performance of the play. I don't know that much about like the real Joseph Merrick's life outside of how they adapted it. I'm not really sure why they changed the name to John for the movie.
So one of the original books written about Joseph Merrick was based off of the doctor's notes, or someone biographer's notes or something, and erroneously crossed out the name Joseph and replaced it with John.
Gotcha, that tracks. I've definitely...
Halfway through production, they realized that they got the name wrong, but at that point they were like, well, we can't fix that.
Yeah. Like, I've definitely called a Joe a John, or a John a Joe in my time. Understandable mistake.
It's basically the same thing.
Yeah. It's a J name.
Well, it's interesting you bring out you don't know how much as well adapts Joseph Merrick's real life, because it makes a lot of shit up.
That sounds right.
It makes his life sound way fucking worse than it is. That drunk carny that beats him up and like abused him and shit, in real life, number one, was a big supporter and leader of the temperance movement. He was very anti-alcohol. And two, him and Merrick were actually business partners and they split everything 50-50. Over 2 years, Joseph Merrick had managed to save up 50 pounds, which was typically what a man in England could have made over the course of a year. So if he was splitting everything 50-50, I don't know. That seems like an okay output to me. Once Merrick got to the hospital, his life was actually usually uneventful. There wasn't any mean night guard. He was never kidnapped from the place. Like, he mostly lived an uneventful life. The stuff about him becoming sort of like an attraction to high society, that part is true. And that part is both, you know, was good for him, but also shitty that people treated him like a freak show in a different way.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's largely fictionalized.
That's not surprising, honestly. Like, I saw the author of the like Black Klansman novel when he came to speak at Webster a few years ago, and I remember him basically saying, like, I know you guys are gonna Hollywood the movie, but just make it faithful to what actually happened as far as like the message. And he's just like, yeah, about 80% of it's real. So I guess, you know, it's as long as the movie is telling the story in a way that like is at least trying to get across what was important about what happened, you know, that's the main point. Like, a biopic is never gonna be completely real.
And is it really a biopic? I guess kind of. But like, I feel like biopics are usually done about celebrities that were recently in the cultural conscience. Joseph Merrick had been dead for a long time by the time this movie came out. That shot where Anthony Hopkins sees Merrick for the first time and he cries.
Mm-hmm.
John Hurt, not on set. Anthony Hopkins just stared into a light without blinking until he started crying.
That's how you do it. Just get right in the Joker.
That's what I should have done for you.
Just put the Joker bug right in my face.
Yeah, only Best Picture. Sorry. Here's another fun fact for you that's depressing. Only movie nominated for Best Picture that year that didn't win a single Oscar. But the Roman Polanski one won 3.
Damn.
This is the only David Lynch movie to not feature any cast members that would go on to appear in Twin Peaks. Here's another fun fact for you. The little boy, the Carney's little boy.
Yeah.
That guy is played by an actor named Dexter Fletcher, who I think I told you this after the movie, Tim. That name doesn't mean anything to you. But Dexter Fletcher is the director of movies like Eddie the Eagle and Rocket Man. And also the secret ghost director of a large part of Bohemian Rhapsody, when oh my god, what is that guy's name? Bryan Singer was largely missing from set. Yeah. Was the secret director of a lot of those scenes. He's also still an actor, but I feel like nowadays he's more known for that directing work. Yeah. And it's just funny because when his name showed up on the credits, I was like, oh, that's funny. Dexter Fletcher, what a coincidence. And I later go to the IMDb page to see what this Dexter Fletcher kid is, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What are your final thoughts on The Elephant Man, Tim?
My final thoughts on The Elephant Man is this is a great movie. I'm glad that I finally got to see it, and on a big screen, no less. Definitely find a way to watch it if you haven't seen it, or just watch it again because it's a good movie. David Lynch was a director who knew a thing or two, made some really good stuff, made some stuff that wasn't as good, but mostly made pretty damn good stuff, and was just a master of the art form. Will be sorely missed, but the work that he made is going to echo through art for generations to come. Yeah, excellent movie. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you. Here's what I'll say about this picture is that there was an actor named Frederick Treves that was in this movie. I don't know if he's related to the real life Anthony Hopkins character Frederick Treves in 2. Whenever the Elephant Man had an outfit on, I'm gonna say it, Tim, he got that shit on. He was swagging with it.
He got that drip though.
He got that shit on. The Elephant Man is my favorite David Lynch movie for a myriad of reasons. It's a beautiful picture. Very emotional picture. It's a beautiful movie. Filled with great performances, great effects work, great makeup. It's David Lynch at his best, and by God, he'll be missed. And also, real quick, the Frederick Treves that is in this movie is the nephew of the Frederick Treves character Anthony Hopkins is playing in the movie.
Let's go.
I just looked that up because I was curious, because I was like, that is too much of a coincidence.
Yeah.
And you know what else is too much of a coincidence?
What's that?
You, the person watching / listening to this episode of Bomb Squad Matinee. Thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. How about if you're listening, you go ahead and leave us a review. It helps boost us in the algorithm or something. I don't know. I just work here. How about you head on over to our Patreon while you're listening? Bomb Squad Productions has a Patreon. $5 tier gets you access to commentary tracks. We just recorded one for War of the Worlds that I need to get off my ass and release already. Joe Vrenick is bullying me into doing ones for the Alvin and the Chipmunk movies. That could be interesting. Tim, you should watch one of those with us.
Maybe. I got a couple.
All right, that's more. That's more than I thought he would say. No, specifically the Alvin and the Chipmunks movie. Sorry.
If I do one of the Alvin and the Chipmunks movie, I'm getting fucking blazed for that shit.
Dude, let's do it. The $10 tier gets you access to a shout out. So, special shout out to my mom, Tanya Kraft. Thank you so much for supporting the show. And if you are not done giving us money, go on over to bombsquadproductions.shop. We got merch now. We got shirts, hoodies, hats, magnets, stickers, and movie posters, the likes of which you've never seen before. So go ahead and tune on in when you got a chance. Send us some money and shit. I don't know. And if you are watching on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. How about you go down to the comment section below and let me know. What do you think of The Elephant Man? Is it your favorite David Lynch movie? And if not, what is your favorite David Lynch movie? What's your favorite movie about a societal outcast? What's your favorite scene in The Elephant Man? And finally, do we got that shit on though? Comment below and let me know. And while you're down there, hit the like button so you know how much you like us. Hit the subscribe button so you know how much you love us. Hit the bell icon to know exactly when we upload new videos. Thank you so much for watching. Tune in next week for a special Austin hosted episode. That's right, this soon after the Social Network one that was also hosted by Austin. My favorite movie of the year. Pretty sure also Tim's favorite movie of the year. I'm gonna be honest, it seems like it's fucking everybody's favorite movie of the year. The newest Paul Thomas Anderson movie, one battle after another. Should be a lot of fun.
Thank you, Sensei.
God damn it!
Thank you, Sensei. God
Viva
damn
la
it! Viva la revolution!
8:15. I've had a few small beers. Should be a lot of fun if we don't just quote the movie for an hour and a half. We'll see you then. Bye.
Farewell.
I slid my ticket across the table and I said, "Sorry guys, I gotta see about a girl."